Her body like the Wild Wild West. What if you done found out, yeah? Riding in the big God bless. She's all inferno. It's a hell of a time.
Hello and welcome to the Sunday Funday podcast, the official podcast for Wild Wild West Fantasy Baseball. I'll be your host today, Alien Arms, Chilipet, Cuneiforms, Milkman, creator of the Gallon Challenge, joined alongside by our co-salesman of the month, Mr. Austin Hardly Lose. Austin, how are we doing today?
Doing great, Alan. How are you doing?
Another day in front of the screens, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, we are super excited. Once again, episode number 5 of our standing series where we go from worst to first to discuss the offseason and life outside the lines leading up to our draft nearly 3 weeks from today. Today's episode of the standing series is brought to you by Epstein Island Children's Hospital. We love pizza and hot dogs. That being said, let's go ahead and introduce today's guest. He who shall not be named, Dr. Chris Carlin. Chris, how are we doing today?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Like I said, another day in front of the screens, baby. So, let's just start things out how we usually do. Tell us how life is going for you outside of fantasy baseball.
Not too bad. Working hard, trying to buy a house this summer, so trying to get as much hours in before I dive into fantasy baseball.
Awesome, dude. That's a big jump, buying a house.
Absolutely.
You and girlfriend moving in together?
Oh, we already live together, so it's kind of more going from renting to buying.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. You gonna pop a question?
In the near future, yes.
Uh-oh. Everybody run.
Are we going to all be invited to your wedding?
I think we're probably going to end up eloping.
Okay, cool. I like that. Save some money. Save some money.
Oh, yeah, destination. Kind of just her and us will be our plan, I think.
Cool stuff. Well, we won't spoil the surprise for you. We won't spoil the surprise.
I hope not.
All right, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Austin. I believe he's got a question for you.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Let's talk some fantasy baseball here. All right, my question for you is, you've been known to have terrible draft picks every year, and it looks like it's happening again this year. With how bad you've been in fantasy recently, what's going to change this year for you to have success?
The fact that I have 4 elite players, unlike the last 2 years where I had my top picks being like 60, and then the year before, I think my top picks were like 101, which that year is a he who shall not be named year ever again. But the top 4, I'll call my shot right now: Austin Riley, Yordan Alvarez, Matt Olson, and Jose Ramirez are going to lead me to the promised land. The rest of the picks don't matter.
So, I do think the rest of the picks do matter. One injury away from disaster.
Yep.
I wouldn't call it disaster. I still can hold with 3 big elite bats. I mean, they're all likely going to put up 100-plus RBIs, all 4 of those people.
Yeah.
True.
Decent numbers, but the bench and the
I mean, you
the
still
hundreds
get,
level picks.
Let's be real. After about 60 like 150 hitter-wise, there's not that large of a drop-off. After you get outside the top 5 of top 10 of most positions except for third base, it's kind of pretty much just picking at 1 or 2 categories that someone's good at. So I'm pretty confident in where we have the picks after I messed up and accidentally offered Graham trade I shouldn't have.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and take some time and talk about that publicly while we have you on the question?
I have big thumbs. They look like sausages, and I accidentally clicked the wrong pick to add on to it. And then I was also busy at the time doing that and sent the trade and went, hope he accepts it. And then when he accepted it, I was happy. And then I looked at it even more in depth and noticed the fact that I added the extra pick, and ended up losing the trade. But I am grateful that he was able to kind of compensate me back, but I wish he would have gave me the whole thing back. I wish he
Yeah.
would have still had
Do
that
you
rule.
feel that your actions afterwards was a little excessive? Do you feel like it was just right? Looking back
Probably
at
a
it
little
now
excessive,
after
but
about a week.
I was living in the moment. I didn't insult anyone. I was just living in the moment. Maybe a little excessive, but
Okay.
trying to prove a point that wasn't proven.
I mean, you hardly proved a point, but
Oh,
guest user, welcome aboard. All right. It looks like we've got a surprise guest that just joined a little late, about 30 minutes late. Mr. Nicholas Nonos, Lord Fat Mead, how we doing? We're gonna go ahead and jump right into you with your question, if you're ready.
I'm doing swell. Thanks for asking. I am ready. Chris,
took a deep breath.
I don't want this to come off too bad, but at the same time I do. So you're kind of known for what we like to call exaggerating the truth, maybe lying a little bit. Few examples. You're famously known for saying that you don't use Fantasy Pros to the group.
I don't
to everyone.
anymore.
Let me finish the question. You say that.
Anymore.
I'm gonna send Alan the screenshot because you said that.
What are you so obsessed with Fantasy Pros for if I do or don't use it?
Let me finish the question.
Because you use it.
Colin,
No, I don't.
mute, please.
Because you don't want me to use it, because that's why you're calling me out. It's reverse psychology.
Let the man
Oh my
speak.
God. I've never used Fantasy Pros in my life.
That's also a lie, too. So we're talking about lies, and lies are spinning.
Carlin, let him speak, bro.
I use RotoWire mainly. I don't use Fantasy Pros. You've said you don't use Fantasy Pros, then we'll be sending text to me about Fantasy Pros a month later. You claim you'll send offers to everyone and then don't send offers to maybe more than 2 people. You claimed you were 7th place 2 years ago, while you were actually 11th, half game out of last place. So the question is, what goes on in your brain and what makes you feel the need to simply lie or stretch the truth?
I have uncontrolled attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And therefore,
Autism.
the first thing that comes to my brain, I kind of say a lot of the times when I'm outside of the workplace.
Don't they make some medicine for that? You should
Yeah,
know.
I'm uncontrolled.
I think I'm going to tell your doctor to prescribe you something.
I mean,
How do
Carlin,
the children feel about that?
I genuinely thought I came in like 7th that year. That was my misunderstanding.
Carlin, to be fair, I have unmedicated ADHD as well. But you don't see me out here spewing, shit out of my mouth.
Thank you.
I also say a lot of stuff in the group chat to cause a ruckus, cause some conversation, mainly towards one named Brick. A brick house.
I figured that would be part of the reason, but I just wanted to air it out a little bit.
Understandable.
There's a lot of damning evidence is what I'm just trying to get at. It wasn't just one thing, but
Okay. Note taken. I didn't know this was a
intervention.
rip on Chris time, but note taken.
Oh, we're ripping everybody. It doesn't matter who's on the podcast. We're
It's an
ripping
intervention
everybody.
from Nick.
We're not just calling out you. We're calling out everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I call out.
Nobody's safe.
That's fine.
Nobody's safe.
All right. Next question then.
Yep. Next question is not really a question. And it's ironically piggybacking off. Carlin, please explain to all of us how you can consider yourself the villain of the league when you are actually quite the opposite. If you've seen the TV show The League,
I have.
I think
Great
we
show.
can more accurately describe you as Taco. So please just let us know why you think you're the villain.
Because I have the most enemies in the league, and let's be honest, in this 4 group right here, who has the most recent championship? It's me. Ask Nikki how the last few championships have gone that he's played in.
Got this.
when you win a championship, you then either become the victor, the villain, or the defending champ. All three of which Nick is not. But when you look at my history still on the ESPN League History tab, I still have I believe, trying to pull this from memory, highest overall average finish.
That is a fact you pulled out of your left brain.
Why?
Highest overall average finish. It's me, Coates, and I believe Dawson are all tied for that.
We
The
have to
three
explain
strongest
to you
managers in the league.
Oh my god.
average finish doesn't matter on the app because once you don't make the playoffs, you could be 8th to 12th. It doesn't say regular season finish. That's what actually matters. But on the
No, it
app,
doesn't.
it's showing it as
Or
playoff
the
finish.
regular season means nothing. It's all about championships, baby.
When
Yeah,
you're
but the
not
average
in the
finish
playoffs,
on there
I'm
is
saying.
irrelevant because if you are in the
I'm
playoffs,
saying
you
when-
don't set your
yeah, I
lines.
said when you're not
Once
in
you're
it.
eliminated,
It's all right.
It's gonna
We're getting
change your
another ring for
finish.
this finger this year. We got one right here. We're going another one right here.
How about then one
can I
for
see
this
it? Did you give half of it to Dawson?
That was a lie made up, but I still
that is
don't
a
know
good
who
question.
brought that up.
Actually, we
Dawson
should probably
Taylor
touch
himself?
on that. We should touch on that while we're here.
I'll go for
How
it.
do you feel that you have been fighting for last the 2 years since your co-manager has dropped assisting you?
I've tried to think outside the box in my pick arrangements, and it just hasn't worked. So,
Do you consider yourself the worst drafter in the league?
absolutely not. Look at Brock's picks last year.
Thank you for bringing this up, Austin.
one? Brock was rated the best draft picks, and look what he did with them.
Yeah.
Connor
he
was
came in
rated
last.
the worst draft picks, and look what he did with them. It doesn't matter what your draft picks are ranked as.
I'm talking about you in person, live with players in front of you. Do you consider yourself the worst
Absolutely not.
person on picking players?
Absolutely not. I might fall in love with someone too quickly, and therefore I picked the wrong person based off of their physical attributes.
Pause.
So we're going to say that there's no link to Dawson and others not helping you and then back-to-back awful years since.
I mean, I barely missed the playoffs one year and then came in 11th the other year. It happens. Still have a more recent championship than you.
Not the question. God.
Championships
But-
don't matter.
Dawson did not help me.
Oh, God.
He never once told me a move to make or not to make.
I had this to
He definitely held your hand when you first
He did
came in the
not
league. Yes,
whatsoever.
You wait,
No, he
wait,
did
you
not.
saying that he did not tell you to make a move or not make a move? I will literally bet my entire life that you asked him
Would
if
love that.
you should make a move or not, and he gave you an answer.
False.
So why has he himself admitted that he's done it?
I have sent him before in the past saying, is this a bad trade? It's either yes or no.
That's help.
That's pretty much.
Congrats. Everyone does that to each other. Nick, you've sent me multiple times.
Just to hear what you have to say and do the opposite.
I mean, let's be honest.
Okay, I feel like we're just like
If it, I
beating
sent it
off
to
a dead
everyone.
horse at this point. Let's just pivot. Austin, I believe the Sneeches, fuck them, have
I'm
a
gonna
question.
I'm gonna wait for the Sneaks question.
Okay, all right,
actually,
all right.
before bold predictions.
Excuse me.
So I'm gonna do the ranking question first because this is kind of an interesting one after what we just talked about. So for your top three, it's gonna be like a top three and like, yeah, I'll explain it once I do it. But basically, the top, you can't include yourself because you would be number one probably in this.
Most
But
likely.
yeah, top three people in the league, like the biggest Karens in the league.
Karens? Okay.
Yeah, and then the bottom three that are like the most chill, non-argumentative people in the league.
Okay. Biggest Karens. Coates is number one.
Commie.
That's without a question. I don't even have to think about that one.
Okay, you have to explain why you're top three too.
Every time a message is sent, he always has to, well, this is the league rule. And that's what Karens do when it comes to, I'm calling the police.
He is the
It
police.
sounds like this is stemming from you asking to reverse that trade.
He is the
There's not
sheriff.
one singular situation I'm referring to.
Okay.
Number 2, probably Chuck. Chuck messages me literally every time I play Xbox.
What does he say? Don't say it loudly.
Literally every time. I'm trying to remember exactly what he says.
So it starts with
I
F?
forget what he's. Oh, I forget exactly what he says, but it's a derogatory term against me, but I forget it.
Yep.
Number 3. I don't have one that's coming to my head initially, but I'm probably going to end up saying Brock because he always cries about things when people come at him. Especially when, like, Nikki comes at him, he cries about it. Chill, probably. I mean, Orange Dawson. Orange Dawson and Hardley, probably, because I feel like all 3 of them are high a lot. And therefore, it's usually the most chill type.
I'm dead.
Oh my God.
Hardly has
Oh
never
my
smoked weed in
God.
his life.
It seems like you have.
That's highly inaccurate, but
Both
that is the funniest thing he's ever said.
You might as well just replace Hardly with Graham.
There
I'm
you
not
go,
allowed.
Graham.
I'm not
That
allowed to
works.
smoke with my job.
Yeah,
so
Graham should
that
have
was
been
the-
your number 1. He literally gave you a free trade back.
He did. Correct. He should have just gave me the whole trade back if he had a man of character.
No, he shouldn't have gave you anything.
Look in the
back.
mirror.
The way you
wouldn't have
acted.
gave it
Look
back
in the
to
mirror.
anybody.
I would have gave him that back instantly.
You wouldn't have given anyone.
Let's
If
test-
we were
let's
swap
test
shoes,
that
I would have
theory.
gave that back instantly. I'm a man of character.
Let's test that theory. Let me send you a trade where you rate
I'm
me.
not going to accept it because then we have evidence here.
Oh, see? Man of character.
I am a man of character. Why would I accept a trade I know is already not good?
You've done it to me before.
No, I haven't.
2 years ago.
What trade did I accept that should have been reversed?
No, I accepted a trade on accident, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, I got a really good deal." And everybody was just like, "Wait, did you do the math correctly?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I looked back and looked at it because everybody was freaking out, and so I ended up not. And I'm pretty sure I texted you. I could probably find it, maybe not. I'm not sure exactly.
I do not
But
remember
you
this.
weren't
if there
willing
was.
to trade back, and I had to use my fuck up because of it. And so I don't know if I believe you when you say that you would have given it back to Graham.
I would have given it back to Graham easily. Only person probably not was Brock. And Nikki, since he's been coming at me recently.
There's a 0% chance you would have given it back to anyone. Maybe Dawson was the only one.
All right.
You
Next
should
question.
you should be thanking him for even offering.
Yeah, you should be
anything
grateful.
back.
You shouldn't be.
The fact that he
Boisterous.
offered you something and you said that wasn't enough is crazy to me. That
Wow.
he continued to work with you.
I was straight going to leave the league and just not pay anyone.
See,
Like,
we would have
20
found
You're-
you. We
you're
would've
first
gone-
out.
we
You're
would've
first
found
out.
you.
We're going down a different path because I don't understand how those two things coincide at all.
yeah, I think we should
You
just.
What?
still owed everyone money.
Not if I just go MIA.
You still owe
Oh.
it to them.
You would lose your
Never was
friends.
to find your place.
True. I mean, I paid Coates already, so we're good.
All right.
It was a
All right,
high
well-
emotion situation. About a half hour. High emotions.
Yeah.
600
All right,
messages
let's
later?
continue. All right.
We broke Alan's
Yeah,
phone.
shit.
Literally.
All right, this is the Sneetches. More of a statement than it is a question. It says, and I quote, "Mr. Carlin, we have not heard what you've said in the podcast yet, but we can only assume your interview will be one of the most insanely idiotic things that we have ever heard. At no point in this podcast were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in the league is now dumber for having listened to it. We, the Sneetches, will abstain from asking you a question, and may God have mercy on your soul."
That definitely was typed by Coates, the Karen of the league.
That's such
Oh
a
my
weird
god.
statement.
I'm glad you left that to the last part. Oh boy. All right. We're going to save it.
Well,
Carlin, I don't want to hear you talk anymore. But bold predictions, go.
Coates comes in last.
I said predictions with an S.
Yeah. Okay. Also, Brock finishes in second. Coates comes in last. And we have a new victor this year, as I believe. Well, since I've been in it, Graham's never won it, but I think Graham wins it.
God,
Have you been hanging out with Graham?
That was a lot. That was a lot to take in.
that was.
Oh my God.
I think Brick has heard the hate, snaps back, and pulls the Nikki season. Does great, and then just losing the championship.
And Graham, you're manifesting because he traded back for you.
I just think Graham. I like Graham's picks.
I'm sorry to hear that, Graham.
What was
But
the other
Coates
person
and
you said
last
off
is a very
camera?
easy.
Coates and
I didn't
What
even
was
last.
the
think
other
about
person
it.
you said off camera?
I think he overestimates his baseball knowledge.
Coates has been in the playoffs since the birth of the league. 10 years.
It's
fine.
the birth of Christ.
I mean, it's
I
a
think
bold
this
prediction.
year is his downfall.
I mean,
It's a bold prediction.
he is getting married. So
Correct. I think his mind's in other places.
I do believe so. He's been fairly absent from the group me, and he's really only there to be the sheriff. So who
The
knows? We might not see a lot of Coates this year.
He's out Karen in the world, telling people to get off his lawn.
All right,
Interesting.
you gonna keep yourself accountable for anything?
Unlikely.
Why?
Talking all that
I
shit.
will say I may have overreacted to the trade with Graham. I apologize on that aspect. Hand up.
Wow.
Um,
Can you say that again?
but high emotions. Everything's good now.
Can you guarantee your winless or lossless season again? Live here?
I mean, it's going to be an empty one because I'm not going to bet on it.
So you have
I
no
do
faith.
believe I end up top 5. Regular
Okay,
season
but
finish.
yourself accountable for that.
And if you're not, then
If I'm not,
I don't think anything too crazy.
okay. If I'm not, I will give a list of 3 keepers next year, and the league can vote on who I keep.
Wow.
Oh,
I don't hate
I was
that.
thinking
I mean,
about
it could-
I've been thinking about my keepers, so that was the first thing that came to mind.
It's because he's got
I
4
like
first
that.
rounders.
and just put them all in there.
Right. But one of them, we may have to force him to use as a first round keeper, though.
Yes. Yeah, someone was.
But actually, I mean, I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
I don't hate it because he was about to say nothing. So
I was about to
Yeah.
say nothing. I'm thinking about keepers.
All right, lock it in.
Lock
Ghost.
it in.
All right.
what about it?
Top.
If you don't finish top 5,
Top
you
5.
take the top 5 out to a steak dinner.
No, that's gonna be like $400.
Probably more than that.
Hey, Nikki's put up like
How
700.
How confident are you?
I was gonna say, I already have a bet out there. I already learned my lesson last year when I paid $850 buy-in for this year.
Jesus.
Okay, you take the top 5 to Chipotle. Like
Okay, Chipotle is easier.
So
I'm
top 5
going,
also to Chipotle.
5
Sure.
times chicken?
I will call
That's it.
No double steak, only chicken bowls.
I add it to the list.
You can get rid of the 3 times.
No.
Keeper one, then.
No. It has to be that one.
No, we're locking that one in. Great.
Lawrence, when you ended, I have something else to say.
Go right ahead.
It's not over yet.
It is over. It is over. We are off camera. I clicked record off.
I don't see it.
It's on my screen. No shit, you don't see it.
Okay. Nikki, we were talking previously. Should I mess with Chuck on keepers?
Absolutely.
If I can keep Devin Williams at 84.
Ooh. No, don't do that.
And then you keep Edwin Diaz with your last pick.
Maybe I want to draft Devin.
Ooh.
I mean, I would keep him with my last pick over Yuri, but that's up to you.
Maybe I want to draft Devin.
Oh, I mean, I would want to draft Devin too. He's probably gonna be the best closer.
I mean, I have two great or pretty good keeper options. I'm probably leaning Edwin, but Yuri's going to be a stud, but he's probably only going to pitch 150 innings.
True, but all right, I'm gonna
And
take off.
tomorrow's
I'll get you
tough.
ready for tomorrow.
All right.
Shut up.
Appreciate you
I'll see
joining,
ya.
Carlin. That's for
Were you
you.
still recording?
Tell
Nick,
Coach tell Coach.
Nick, Harley, do you have anything else to say before we hop off here?
No, I think that covers it all.
Yep. Get fucked, Carlin.